It's me, Zenobia Darling. You're listening to #RockstarLife, the Coffee Break podcast. Let's go. Where the hell's my cold brew at?
Okay, and I'm going, all right, what's up, guys? It is me, Zenobia Darling. All right, so this is a re-record. We had a whole episode taped, ready to go last week. No idea what the fuck happened. I even took it to one of my tech people. He had no idea what the fuck happened. So I'm just going to chalk it up to we spilled too much tea. We got too messy.
The tea was hot.
Yeah. And the spirit world's and let's just fuck it up.
Exactly.
So you guys came back to the UFO.
We did.
I'm here with Nick and Rich from Studio 5 Baltimore.
Hey. Hello.
What's up, guys? How are you?
Oh, we're doing great.
You are?
Yeah.
It's not as cold.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it is cold. Well, I just
It's
read
chilly.
I read the weather where it's going to be 5 degrees next week.
Oh, I can't wait.
I'm I don't want to be here.
It's got to make up for all those days and all those years, mind you, that we did not have any snow. So,
That is very
I'm
true.
welcoming it.
Yeah.
I'm channeling that energy.
I will take the cold.
Busting out that shovel.
Yeah, I'll take the cold over the wildfires. So,
Absolutely. Yeah. Heard. Mm-hmm.
So let's get back to this episode. I had you guys on. It was just what didn't we talk about? I did spill secrets about hooking up with a Baltimore drag queen who remained unnamed on the podcast.
Sure. Okay.
Everyone knows who people who know.
I think I know who it is. I think I remember.
You do?
It's not me.
It's not me. Well, no. Well, he texted me, and I was like, okay. So I'm I think that was good. What else did we talk about?
We
talked
talked
a lot.
about Studio 5 history.
Yeah. Well, let's get into some
how we
history
would
about you
rank
guys.
Some drag queens. But sure, yeah, we can get into some history. So what would we like to know? How it all began, where we are now, what we plan to do. What are we interested in hearing about? Everything?
What is your thesis statement for Studio
Ooh.
5?
Sure, yeah. So Studio 5 is definitely centered around inclusivity. We obviously want to provide some great photography services to the community here in Baltimore. For some folks, photography is not an accessible deal for them.
It's not.
To get quality professional images, especially if you're looking for, a new LinkedIn photo or if you have a new business that you're starting. Sure, we can do some natural light photos with our iPhones. That's always an option.
But iPhones are iPhones, but
Exactly.
you need a camera. You need a camera.
Yes. There's no artisan touch to it. There's no creative direction. You just get a lot more when you don't have to do as much as the client.
Yeah.
And so that's really what we like to provide as an experience for the people that we're working with.
Yeah.
So whether you're a drag queen or if you're a college graduate or if you're a doctor or a lawyer who
Susie
just needs a new
professional
headshot,
going
for
to the bank.
LinkedIn. Exactly. It's we want to provide that for you.
Yeah.
So accessibility is huge for us, and just remaining in a price point where we're not out of touch with what people can afford.
Yeah.
You're not walking onto the set of a Vogue shoot. It may feel that way because we want all of our clients to feel glamorous and in touch with their inner beauty. But we also just want you to feel good with where you're putting your money, and it's not going to, another company that, has franchised out or, their money goes elsewhere. You're keeping your dollars local, and it supports a local Baltimore business.
A local queer business.
Yes, exactly. With the local queer Baltimoreans who live in the city that they work in. And you really can't go wrong with that. So,
That's very true.
And we're fun to be around. So
yeah, totally. So I came across you guys. God, this was 2 years ago. I was doing stand-up comedy at Area 405 for Queerscape.
Yep.
And this horrible stand-up comedy set inspired by Brooklyn Heights, where I was half out of drag, just being a bitchy, grumpy vulture. So she takes it with love.
Remember.
Yeah. And you guys were photographing and everything. And then I was doing the art of drag at Gallery 220 in Havre-de-Grace, my hometown. And I was let's bring you guys on to actually have good Baltimore drag. Because I didn't want to focus on the RuPaul girls or any. I wanted local drag. You should always support your local queens wherever they're at. They're everywhere. So that's where we first because you had 4 paintings or 4 photography things in that. Yep. And then detouring into the paranormal realm, after filming Ethereal Anarchy, we had to add more drag. And I was who do I call? Studio 5.
Ding,
Let's
ding,
call
ding.
you guys. So you guys had two things. Who did we have? Alastor.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had 2 photos of an Alastor in that show. Was it just 2 that we submitted? I think it was just those 2 for that one. Yeah, and they were really great. I mean, they fit the theme perfectly. You know, we love
one of my faves.
Cryptid and, you know, sort of more like...
Because they were in, it was like a Krampus-y, like, almost like a... I don't know, like an Elkhorn Krampus one, and then there was like an Atlantean look.
Yes, very vampiric.
Yes,
you know, we'll go with that. Very Lestat. You know, we had lots of.
How long have you guys been photographing Alastor?
Oh goodness, since like 2018.
God,
I believe.
I love that bitch.
So yeah,
first time I saw them, I forget. Maybe about an auto. It was somewhere in Baltimore. I was at Towson. They fucking ate an entire thing of MAC lipstick on stage and then like chucked it at someone.
Yeah. I love that.
And I was like, God, this fucking bitch.
Nothing says love from Baltimore than having a nice high-end lipstick chucked at you after it being eaten.
Oh yeah. Just like, and you could tell
her in a few years.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't seen her. However, I have seen their out of drag self, Josh. They do cut my hair, so we got to support the local businesses as well. So, shameless plug for Cultivate Hair Salon down in Federal Hill. Brian, who is also known as Baby, performs under that name.
Oh,
also
Baby
owns the salon. So,
wait, Baby owns it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Damn.
They just hit their 1-year anniversary, I believe this past Friday. So
I love it.
Exciting
Baby's
stuff.
another one. They're another one. I'm like, God.
Always stunning. Always so endless with the creativity.
How many times have you photographed Baby?
No, too many to count. Yeah. I think when we first got started, I do remember the first time that we photographed Baby when they were kind of just getting their start at Metro Gallery. I do love looking back on everybody's first time in drag or like their first performance in drag.
My first time in drag photos live in a vault and they will never see the light of day.
And that's cool too, you know? I mean, but, you know, to have a record of that growth and just of what it's all become.
Yeah.
I mean, just to see the amazing events that, you know, they've put on throughout the years. And this isn't to disrespect or disregard any other queens that we know in our circles. We love them all.
There's a lot of Baltimore drag queens. And I have to say,
so many.
Everywhere in the world, Baltimore has the best drag.
Yeah.
Still to this day, the best drag in the entire world.
Yeah, definitely. We just have a soft spot for alt drag. You know, we love the alternative.
Yes.
We love something different. We love our gorgeous, gorgeous queens for pageantry. We love people who like to keep it classic and more sequins.
And we also love to laugh at ourselves.
That's very true.
Yeah,
That's very true.
Humility is huge with us because not every photo is great.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you think about like the history of drag in Baltimore. You have John Waters. You have Divine, who is like, I think every drag queen, you know, Divine's the fairy godmother.
Yeah. Yes.
As she should be.
Very much an idol for many.
Yeah. And it's like, so we have a steep history and it's like Baltimore just has that like trashy camp quality. Like, but it even translates into like the women. Like I did an art exhibition on Blaze Starr, the burlesque dancer.
Yes.
She has that quality to her.
We love Blaze.
Blaze is the best. I'm waiting for her to come through in the spirit box. Like,
we've
had several weird synchronicities around her because, like, I'm a paranormal investigator.
Okay.
And I've said I want her to, she needs to make her presence known, especially after the show.
Sure.
She will not, but I know she's watching, and I'm like, I'm waiting for it. And I have a huge cutout of Blaze Starr now in my art studio.
Oh, I love that. I bet she does too.
Oh, yeah. I sit there and sing to it. I'm like, Blaze, I look cunty today. How do I look?
Serenade her, and she says yes.
Oh, hell yeah. I met her sister, too.
Oh, did you?
Oh, because I said that I was like she's big in the gay community. I was like, most of us Baltimore gays know who she is and kind of love her. And she was like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. Blaze would love that. I was like, yeah. I was like, of course she would. Of course she would.
Where did she find her sister?
She lives in West Virginia. The curator of that art exhibition, Kathy Till, who was in A Theory of Anarchy, is still in contact. She was doing all the research for it and reached out, and they actually became friends.
Oh, that's
so
great.
They came to the art opening last spring. I got to talk to them. They're actually paranormal people too. So that's why we were connecting, and they're just cool West Virginia people. So
very cool.
Yeah.
Cool West Virginia people.
I love West Virginia.
That.
It's so people think I'm crazy, but I'm like, it has the best cryptids. It has the just weirdness, paranormal stuff. And like you get a fun hillbillies.
It's also for lovers too.
That is very true. That is very true.
That was regular Virginia.
Oh yeah, that's regular Virginia.
Well, it's West Virginia. It's West Virginia.
West Virginia
is wild and wonderful.
Yeah.
Isn't that what it says on the license plates? No.
I think so. No, it is wild and wonderful.
We love West Virginia too, and I mean that truly. Does have some of the most beautiful opportunities for leaf peeping. If you want to go to a cute little town, they got plenty of those. Just be careful, depending on like where you are. It can definitely be pretty unique down there.
I do love it. Not a good drag scene though.
No.
I mean, I haven't found any. There's not a lot of West Virginia queens.
Morgantown. This is not West Virginia.
Oh, I have stories from Morgantown. One of my good friends went to Dove V, so we were at the party, and like,
it was a time.
It was it was like 19-year-old, like, you get a water bottle, dump half of it out, pour a thing of Everclear to fill it up in a Crystal Light packet, and then walk around.
And then you got lemonade.
Yep.
It's my kind of party.
Fun days. You're 19-year-old hooking up with little frat boys. I was like, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, well, they make you who you are.
Right.
So, like, what got you guys started in the photography? I think you guys already kind of answered that, but, like, do you guys have a background in, like, in photographing? Like, art degrees, stuff like that?
So I started taking pictures when I was 8.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandmother gave me my first camera, a Kodak disc camera that they no longer made film for, so that wasn't really
now we put discs in our cameras.
For me.
Yeah.
Was
it on film?
Yeah.
Man.
So, I graduated from high school. My dad said, what do you want to do? And I wanted to go to college, and he didn't know how to help me through that because my family wasn't really a college family. It was like you go right from high school to work. So my choices were electrician, Navy, or post office. And
given a whole new meaning to
Baltimore,
trade.
though. That's so Baltimore.
Yeah. And so he sent me to community college. And
which community college?
Anne Arundel Community College. Mm-hmm. And I was on the 4-year program there.
I get that.
And so then after 4 years, he's like, I'm not paying for this anymore. And I thought, well, to hell with you, Dad. I'm going to pay for the rest myself. And I enrolled in UMBC, and I graduated with my degree in film there.
And you paid for it.
And I paid for it.
Take that.
Yeah, take that, Dad.
Yeah. I love it. I love it when art pays the bills.
Yeah.
But that was back in the film days. And I worked there at the school, and I ran the cage and, everything that an art school
I'd like to check out a Mamiya RB67, please.
Let me see if we have any of those. So, yep, we have one left. And Nick's journey was similar.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I started out at a very young age as well. Of course, we were all ordering cameras from catalogs back then. I think it was Sears. And so, it was one of those little Christmas gifts that you get. I believe my first camera was probably like an Olympus. Like it was one of those little slider front cameras.
Oh, wow.
They were so sleek and high tech for the time, but they really weren't that high tech. I mean, it was just a 35 millimeter fixed focus. Like there was no zoom, no nothing. I don't even think it had a flash.
Yeah. Well, you know what my first camera was? Do you remember Game Boys?
Oh, yeah.
They had a Game Boy camera.
Oh, okay.
And you could do selfies. That was like,
Nice. Yeah.
I'm like, how far I've come.
Right. Yeah. How far we've grown. So from there, it just kind of was like taking photos on vacation, taking very bad photos on vacation, but then just taking a likeness to that and enjoying the fact that you kind of get what you see once you get into, of course, like, more manual exposures and learning studio lighting, that whole gamut. You really learn the difference between good compositions and bad compositions. And what was I thinking back then? Or this used to look so cool. It's a stop sign.
And now you're like,
and, now I'm like, man, I was like, that was cool, but in a different way, because now it's more nostalgic. You kind of look back on those things. But I really started taking it seriously in high school. I was very multidisciplinary. I was in like gifted and talented courses, and studied my whole senior year and like advanced art courses. I liked everything. Very hands-on, mixed media. Photography was definitely very strong in that, and I wanted to focus on that in college. So I was kind of coming into the end of an era with film kind of merging with digital at the time. We didn't have great digital cameras back in like the early 2000s, but I mean, we were still doing all right. I think we had like 5 megapixel cameras, and now we've got like 60.
Oh God, that's oof.
The difference is pretty astonishing. But you learn a lot. I did 2 years at Howard Community College and studied all traditional film processing there, and then I continued that at the Maryland Institute College of Art.
Oh, Micah grad. Oof.
Yep, Micah grad in the house.
Now, have you ever had any paranormal experience in that building?
Not directly. I transferred into that school, and I was also working 3 jobs while going to that school.
Oh, so you didn't have,
I didn't get to like have the romantic bohemian art school life that everybody else did that went there.
Because that like station building, one of my friends works in there,
Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
like, can they let me in with my equipment and my team?
Yeah.
I'm like, let's investigate the fuck out of that building.
Sure. Yeah. The photography stuff was all in that big marble building. It's the main building right on Mount Royal. And
That has stuff too.
yeah, so that one's also original. Now Micah was originally located down by the harbor pre-Baltimore fire. My great-grandfather, I think it was two greats. My great-great-grandfather went there, and he was a sign painter. So he would do billboards around Baltimore of like ladies drinking coffee, men smoking cigarettes, like that kind of thing. But he was very talented in that way, and lots of history kind of peppered throughout my familial line, if you will, with different types of art, from like shipbuilding to like making models, making furniture, like clothing,
Like you come from an artistic family.
Yeah,
it seems
for the most part. Yeah,
I get that.
Not necessarily from my direct lineage with my parents, but on both sides, we have some folks who were pretty talented in what they did.
Oh, that's so Baltimore. I love it.
Pretty cool. Yeah,
I love it. So what is it about drag queens specifically? Because there's a certain way you got to photograph them. To me, they're endlessly compelling. I could photograph them every day, every night, be around them. I feel like you guys are very similar. What is it about photographing drag queens that different than photographing something like another subject or something? Like, and what is it about capturing that essence? Because you're essentially capturing performance art on somebody.
Definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. I think it's all about the performance, and whether it be drag queens or, any of the queer culture.
Yeah.
We just love to perform for one another. We love to perform for the camera. It's just a safe zone.
Most of
for
us are fame whores. We're camera whores.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're also documenting like a little slice of history there too.
Yeah, that's very true.
Baltimore is in Baltimore, so we do have tons of eclectic artists and people of different backgrounds and styles. I just think that adding that performance art to it just takes it to a whole different level.
Oh yeah,
and we definitely started out as more of like a documentarian type photographer in the beginning.
That I knew it. That's what I always said, because I study reality television. The best reality television, when they come at it from a journalistic documentarian side, it always makes it so much more compelling.
It's more honest.
Yes.
It's more candid. It's more, this is what we saw, and you're standing there with us, like watching this scene unfold in front of you, whether that's a pile of drag queens like falling on top of each other intentionally for a number. I mean, there have been plenty of instances where we've seen some things, and some of those things never leave those venues, which is something to say.
I know that.
We've seen staple guns, we've seen blood, we've seen glitter, and just all kinds of wild stuff. It's like you can't make this stuff up.
My last show that I saw before the pandemic was Hazel Dereon and Tied Up in DC, a Desiree Dick show.
Yeah.
Basically fake fucking in a kiddie pool of fake blood. It was amazing. Baby was there doing Babies on Fire by Diane Ward. I think I said that on the original podcast.
Yes.
I went back and I found the pictures from that, and I'm just like, motherfuck. I'm like, how did I stumble upon this?
Sure.
Because I remember I was at that point, I just graduated Towson, and it was me and another Towson person. So Mally Stewerman. I think they're still performing. I haven't seen them in a while.
Yeah, Mally's still performing.
They do. Manic Pixie. Is it so Manic Pixie?
Manic, yeah. Yeah, they've been featured in a few shows, and they also perform at Alisana Social Club, another shameless plug. Ooh. Support your local queer
I was
venues.
there when they did their first show at Central.
Amazing.
Yes. I'm I'm surprised.
Taking it way back, talking about Central.
Yes. Well, that's the other thing about the queer culture, because it's all the clubs I remember are closed. I remember going to town in DC. I remember Central, the Hippo, all that. I was the very tail end of the Hippo.
Yeah. I was here for probably the last 4 years of the Hippo. Good times.
But we find new spaces.
That is very true.
There is Club Car now.
Yep, we've got the Club Car on North
very
Avenue.
Supportive of all of the artists.
Absolutely. We've got Mobtown Ballroom, which is a very queer safe space. If you like to dance, we have lots of really great
because that's what I want to dance. Old school dance. Leave the phone off.
Absolutely.
Stop texting. Get off fucking Grinder. Dance. Be naughty on the dance floor. That's what I miss, because I feel that whole culture is gone.
Especially now everybody can document it with their phones.
Yes, and there is some stuff. Don't document me being a debaucherous trash fag. Don't document that.
Right.
I mean, you can, but
Right, but don't.
Yeah, it's there's certain spaces. I thank God some of those pictures, some of the debauchery that I used to have there's no way it's going to see the light of day.
It was more fun when you could improve it.
Yes. Because I'm well, that might have happened.
Keep the mystery alive.
I don't know. It's God, I have some stories.
Absolutely.
I have some
But now we say
stories.
Pixar didn't happen and people mean it. So, and chances are they probably have the pictures. So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure someone would blackmail me.
right.
Although, I don't know. Although, let it out. I don't care.
Right. It might make you famous. Yeah.
Exactly. That's why
Go
I'm like,
viral.
oh yeah, that's why I'm like, is there a sex tape of me? There might be. I don't know.
That's never too late to make one.
I'm like, yeah, that's very true. I'm like, let it happen. I'm like, I
can set that up for yourself
Pam
and just leave it
Anderson
somewhere.
and Paris Hilton taught me well.
Take notes, kids. Take notes.
Oh yeah.
All right, ad break. I gotta pay for all this damn coffee I'm drinking and tea I'm spilling.
What's up, art lovers? It's me, Zenobia Darling. Did you know I'm more than just a drag rock star? I'm also a very accomplished painter photographer, and you can check it all out on ZenobiaDarlingCreative.com. Sponsored by the Harford County Cultural Arts Board, my blog, #RockstarLife, the arts blog. It explores all my creativity right when it crashes into local culture. Explore my neo-expressionistic fine art, my editorialized goth photography, and this is the best part. You can buy my original paintings, and you can spruce up your boring-ass walls, because every wall needs some glittering Zenobia Darling on them. So go check out Zenobia Darling Creative. The link is in the episode description. Ooh, what's up, Glamazons? It's Zenobia Darling. And you know my rock stardness doesn't just happen, right? It's crafted to perfection at Odyssey Salon and Day Spa in Aberdeen. Let me spill my secret. Abby, my badass stylist, is the mastermind behind my iconic glittering blonde mohawk. Whether you want to spike it up, smooth it out, dye it a killer shade, or just add that extra edge to your hair, the crew at Odyssey have the magic to make you feel like the superstar you truly are. And it's not just about hair. They keep my nails sharp, my skin polished, and every visit is an absolute blast. And here's the best part, my darlings. Odyssey isn't just about looking fierce. It is a safe space where us LGBT folks can feel right at home, shining as our truest selves. So if you're ready to live your own #Rockstar life and embrace your creative spirit, get yourself to Odyssey Salon and Day Spa in Aberdeen. Tell them Zenobia sent you and show the world how fabulous us rock stars look. And you never know, you might run into yours truly. The link to book your visit to unlock your fabulosity is in the episode description. Hey there, ghost-loving rebels. It's Zenobia Darling, your paranormal punk rock queen. We premiered my newest art film, Ethereal Anarchy, Zenobia Darling's Haunted Revolution, on November 1st with my opening reception of my immersive art exhibition, The Paranormal Realm Beyond the Lore. Let me tell you, part one of this film captured one of the most profound paranormal experiences I've ever had. And it was met with roaring applause and accolades. And yes, we filmed it in true punk rock fashion to bring you even more content. But Huns, the revolution is just getting started, and we need you to bring part 2 to life. We have so much more content from part 1 that we want to include, plus we're actively filming for part 2. So we're pushing paranormal storytelling to the edge in true aspirational punk rock fashion. Your support fuels every haunting moment of this journey. From ghost hunting gear to fair crew pay, every dollar you contribute keeps things spooky and queer just the way it should be. Join the Haunted Revolution. You can find the link to our GoFundMe in the episode description and help us raise the dead and the funds. So who are your favorite drag queens to photograph? What was your first drag queen that you photographed in Baltimore? Wait, what were you going to say?
At Studio 5? So when we opened in 2018, we're in Graffiti Alley.
Oh,
So it was a long, cold year. We didn't really have much
amenities,
much traffic. We just didn't.
Oh, you're talking about clients. I was talking about having heat or
so finally,
air conditioning.
Finally, we got Whimsy Thrift in. Well, yeah, that or it's too hot and the makeup just melts.
July was awful.
Yeah. Oh, Whimsy finally came in, and she was our first girl.
Whimsy Thrift,
and no longer performing. And she came to the studio a couple times, but she spread the word.
She was great. Yeah, she was great. She was had like more of a club kid aesthetic. Just lots of great spiky accessories and great makeup, contacts. High platform boots. I mean, she should have been like the poster child for Pleaser shoes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But even before that, before we had brick and mortar, we were like running around taking pictures at Grand Central.
Oh yeah,
or
we were good at Grand
in
Central.
Vacant spaces.
Even the Hippo, we were photographing there too.
And who was the one queen that you photographed? There was Gina Tonic. There was that whole.
Oh
group.
Yeah, we had Gina Tonic.
Oh, that's a throwback.
We had Clitorica.
Yes, Brown. Yes,
Clitorica Brown.
Yeah,
and there was one more. It's been too long, folks. The age is catching up with me, but there was a third in there. We had there was like a little trio of folks that we would photograph, and those were some of my first studio portraits that I did of drag queens. Betty O'Helna was another one too. We photographed her as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh God, I haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah. Talk about blackmail. We've Lo Kim Jong Il.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
That was the name. Lo Kim Jong Il. And these ladies were great.
That's so Baltimore.
I mean,
that's so Baltimore. I love it.
Yeah. First time reaching out to people, just kind of cold calling. Hey, I'm taking pictures. Would you guys mind putting on some makeup and some hair and some heels and coming down to Richard's office building to let me photograph you in this vacant space? I promise it's not creepy. I promise you'll leave alive, and we'll even pick you up and drop you off. Hop in for a good time.
So we would sneak people up the freight elevator to the 25th floor
during regular working hours.
Oh,
so bad,
man. We just needed space. And we found the space, and it worked. Sometime in 2018, I think it was March of 2018. So pretty early in that year. I just kind of had it. And no, we were photographing those girls 16. Way earlier in like 2016.
Yep. And then 2 years later of like moving furniture around the house and having to make the dining room into a studio. And then let's use a living room. No, I'm tired of moving all this crap around. Had it up to here. You can't see that I'm like silently cutting off my neck here.
Right.
But I had it. I was like, we need space. Where can I find space? So on to Google I went. Lo and behold, Craigslist had the perfect opportunity. As it usually does.
Oh, yeah.
And so we
Is it still there?
It is. Yeah, okay. Craigslist still exists, but you can't do your missed connections anymore. So if you were hoping to do that from that man you saw in Home Depot looking at the screws, then you're out of luck.
But he's still there.
But he's still there. If you go and jingle your keys, I'm sure he'll say something to you.
I feel like I was there. I was there. I mean, even if you say, like, how are they going to prove it?
You had a baseball cap on and a brown jacket.
Yeah. The lighting was horrible.
Exactly. Fluorescent. So we found a space down in Graffiti Alley at the I would say infamous. People know about Graffiti Alley, right? Yeah. Graffiti Warehouse. They do meet and greets there. It's a big warehouse. We got about 10 studio spaces in there. I'm pretty sure we're almost at full capacity with occupants of all different kinds of media and disciplines. But we found Studio 5. How ironic, right? And that sort of tied into the name for Studio 5. And what
are we going to call it?
Right. Yeah. We were like, what's the name of this whole thing that we're trying to do and going to look like? What do we call ourselves? So many folks use their names in their photography businesses, but, we wanted something that could kind of carry a legacy and like be built upon, to kind of establish that brand, all in the name of fun. We don't take our lives seriously. Like we're here for the fun. We're here to learn something. We're here to build relationships and we're here to make friends.
Continuously learning. Yeah.
Exactly.
Because you guys have photographed everybody. I mean, I was going to the website. I saw Washington Heights, Dee Dee Dereon.
Yeah, and we worked with
Brooklyn
Washington
was on there
for a long time.
Yeah,
doing House
Sorority.
Party. Met a lot of the RuPaul girls through Washington Heights, and Washington still performs at the Eagle.
God, Washington's the best.
Brooklyn, we also photographed her a few times, and she's a blessing to be around. Always a hoot and a half.
God, I love
Same with Ayanna Deschanel.
Oh, I love Ayanna.
Beautiful.
Wait, but you said you haven't photographed Ayanna yet.
We haven't in the studio.
Not officially in the studio. See, we photographed them like out in the wild, like at a venue. Like one of my favorite images that we have of Ayanna is in the bathroom at the Manor. Yeah. And before anybody cracks a joke about photographing her in the bathroom, they do have a really cool featured wall. Yeah. And it's like all these little copper like address label coins from like old mailboxes. I think something like that. There was some kind of like, wall that they had in there that had like a lot of great texture on it. And we were like, oh, get up against that wall and let's take a picture of you. And I actually ended up really enjoying that.
And if you're photographing a drag queen in the bathroom, make sure the drag queen knows. And
absolutely.
And tell everyone else in the bathroom.
Consent is sexy.
Yes. I cannot tell you how many times I've had a photographer like, you're in the bathroom and they're always just photograph. And it's like, you're in a fucking bathroom, dude. Like, God.
Yeah. Backstage is hard too, but backstage is always the best place to photograph.
That is. Oh, it is. Yeah. And we've gotten the picture on Richard's shirt now of Section 8 as a dressing room.
For the art of drag, when we went to the State Theater, one that Sorority Heights hosts, I purposely was like, can we be backstage filming you guys?
Yeah.
And she was like, of course. And everyone was like, don't film backstage. I'm like, no, I want the queens back
We
there.
love the behind the scenes.
Because I'm like, I was serving them shots. I got fucking Bambi talking about bottoming. Colton's talking about God knows what, he like shading me to high hell. Me and Washington were going out. It was like, it's just the fun of drag queens in that backstage.
It's
I'm like,
about the kiki.
that's
It's about the
show.
connection.
Yeah,
right?
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
And
a
then there
better
was
show back
some
there.
dude who came to that show who is married to this woman, and he goes to the same yoga studio I used to go to, and he always would hit on me. And of course he was there, and of course Bambi picks him right out because he's like buff and tatted, and brings him up, and of course he's to strip naked into like his like jock strap. And I'm like, imagine he's wearing an Andrew Christian jock. He knew what he was doing.
Is he
And we were-
performing?
No, he thought he was.
Oh, for you guys.
And then I'm backstage, it's on camera. I'm like, he wanted every single one of you to suck his dick in drag. And it's like, and everyone's like, that's so vulgar. And I'm like, that's drag though. I'm like, us back there drunk bitching about this
But did they?
that is the most drag thing ever. So
So it didn't happen, did it?
no, it did. Well, I mean, I definitely might have sent some dick pics.
Okay.
Some of my Maplethorpe
All right.
inspired photography, I have to say.
Yes. Yes.
So-
Come through.
I love
that.
Maplethorpe. God, he's my fave.
He's a great artist. Yeah, he really is. I have one of his books on his Polaroids. Definitely something fun to leaf through when you have some time.
I love it.
But he and Patti Smith were always interesting characters. Very romanticized in the community.
Yeah. If I could go back in time, he's one of the ones I would meet. Him, Andy, Candy Darling.
Yeah.
I don't know all of them.
Like in that whole 60s.
Yeah.
I don't think if I went
period.
back into that period, I don't think I would have made it.
I don't think I would
Probably not.
either.
I don't think any of us would still be here.
I probably would die of AIDS or
But at least you look fabulous doing it.
Yeah.
That's very
Yeah.
true. You'd be fabulous. We all
Yeah.
would. We all would.
Hopefully immortalized by Andy Warhol. But
Yeah.
but yeah, absolutely. It was just a very pivotal time, for making art. I mean, there was just so much happening then, a lot of tragedy too, like with the AIDS
Lost a lot of
epidemic. So, lost a lot of people, like a whole generation of elders. And that's terrible. May they always rest in peace. But we're here to reestablish that. And I think just as a queer community, like we're pushing that agenda of just
totally.
making it more okay to
And
stay
the
educated.
fabulosity is back. I feel like after the 80s, because like I'm friends with a lot of people who like grew up at that time, and like Kathy Till, who's in A Theory of Anarchy, and like I actually had her in today for the podcast. She was very big in like the Baltimore gay scene. She's like, I was losing like at least 2 a week, if like sometimes more.
Yeah.
And she's like, just in the past 10 years has that fabulosity returned. She was like, the 90s were like, she was like, we all looked like shit, like all that stuff. But she's like, it's finally back. So
Yeah,
I love
keep the steam going.
did
Keep
you
pushing
notice
forward.
like there's pre-drag race drag and like post-drag race drag?
Oh, yes.
Did you guys witness that?
Absolutely.
Oh yes, people didn't know what they were needing improvement on.
Yeah.
During those first few seasons.
Oh,
And,
God. Well, those first are the
now-
only ones I watch because I'm like,
they're
now,
great,
yeah.
and that's no disrespect to any of those seasons.
I
think
remember
they're
when
all
Tatiana went to film it. Like, I remember because she just like disappeared, and then like Bananka was like, she's filming some show, and I'm like, it's Drag Race, right? Like, God, fucking R.I.P.
We were so
Bananka.
naive.
God,
Yeah, we were so naive. And doesn't it feel strange when you look at some of those older episodes and they have like the Vaseline on the lens? It's like, did they film it that way, or is that just something?
of course they did, because RuPaul's a vain bitch.
Right. Or I thought that was something to like really kind of bring you into the fact that it's an older episode. I was like, was that really like that when we were watching it? Like, I guess it was.
You know, we had to go to Mixers to watch the first 2 seasons because we didn't have cable.
Right.
And Mixers wouldn't even put the sound on. So,
had to
we're
watch it
just like
closed captioned.
reading the closed
And we're
captions.
like, what did she say? I missed it. And you can't rewind,
Yeah,
you know.
just they weren't into it at the
Well,
time.
I would say it's our sports. It's our football.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not watching football.
No,
like,
we've
I'm
got
watching
viewing
Drag Race
parties, and we've got
Real
just
Housewives.
whole themes going on. Everybody's gathering up at home to watch it with their friends. We have new generations of drag queens who are only doing drag because of Drag Race,
And
which
yeah,
is
they're
just
inspired.
fabulous.
Yeah. But those early, I mean, Tammy Brown, there's no one like her.
Yeah.
Chanel, no one like her.
She's great. Yeah.
Fucking Tatiana, even Raven. Like, it's all those early queens are the ones I love. Like, I haven't watched Drag Race since, God, it's been years.
Bianca is when it jumped the ship for me.
That was when it started. And then it was like, I was just done. I just was done. And then, And then
We've all done too much Drag Race.
But now we
So-
go back and we watch them. We marathon watch them.
We do.
You know, the
yeah.
older
It's always fun to
seasons,
revisit and be like, what season was that? And then you surprise
Wait a
yourself that it
minute.
was almost 10 years ago. So.
Yeah.
and then you got Dragula. Like,
Right.
yeah.
We love Dragula too. You know, I mean, that's always, that's more in tune with like our personal interests. We like, you know, again, we love tooting on the alternative drag.
God, I was almost cast in season 4. I'm so happy
Fully
I did
support
it.
everybody, but it's just
So
nice
happy
to
I
see
did it.
something different.
Yes.
You know?
What season are they in now?
Like 6?
Oh gosh, you know, that's a great question.
Because it was 2021 was when
Yeah, like when
I
it
was
all began.
auditioning.
Right, and we finally had a local girl.
Yeah. Just now. Wait,
Yeah.
Desiree?
Yeah.
Desiree Dick, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch that though. I really got turned off to any type of like competition reality shows because I'm to the point where it's like I understand drag pageants and all this stuff kind of translates that way on reality television. I'm to the point where I'm like, can we get like aspirational lifestyle? Like take the competition out of it. Drag queens are compelling enough creatures. Let's just put us on camera and live our lives. And I'm like, it's so much more fascinating. It's more Warholian. I'm like, enough with the competition. Stop pitting queens against each other.
Sure. But what's
Stop.
the fun in that? Everybody likes to see everybody come for each other.
They're
you know?
still going to be fighting. It's drag. Like,
It's like locking a bunch of feral cats in a room and
Yeah.
throwing away the key.
it's the best though. I'm like that. God. And just like them, like I love it when, especially when they're like professional on stage, you go backstage and it's like just fucking hate each other.
Pandemonium.
God, I've
Absolute
seen
pandemonium.
people that will rename nameless on the podcast. I've seen some brawls. Some
Absolutely.
brawls.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, you know, it's like a lot of that's Hollywood too. You know, like they have
Yeah.
to cut things together to make it look like they said that. And, you know, I usually.
The Frankenbiting.
Exactly. I
Yep.
usually find that a lot of people are like, well, it didn't really happen that way. But, you know, entertainment value, you know, everybody's got to
Yeah.
make a
So who's
point
your
off of
favorite
it.
like drag race girl?
Oh, geez. Who is my favorite drag race girl? Do you have a favorite?
Detox.
Detox is
We love
yeah.
Detox.
Detox, Alaska,
Willem. Willems. Ugh.
Yeah. I would just keep running through my head, and I'm horrible with like choosing people.
What about Dragula girls?
on the spot? The Dolly. I really like the Dolly. And
Louisiana Purchase is one
Madeline
of my favorites.
Hatter
Louisiana,
is
Wait, you
good.
guys photographed?
We did.
Oh,
yeah.
Louisiana Purchase.
That was awesome.
Hallow Eve was fun.
Hollow Eve, fucking amazing. Bitch Pudding's pretty good.
Richard
Yeah.
got to staple elastic strings to her for a performance here in Baltimore. That was cute.
I wish I had pictures of that.
Yeah. I have pictures of her performance, but I don't have pictures of you stapling her.
God.
But,
God.
Yeah, that was one thing we never thought we'd have on our bingo card is how often we would hold actual staplers and actual upholstery staplers and medical staplers.
Yeah.
Never thought.
Well,
Who'd
I
have
know.
thought?
I think that I have a whole like freak show like theatrical training, so like I know how to staple myself and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And people think I'm like crazy for it, and I'm
Yeah.
like, it's so easy. Like
Yeah. They just
I know how to put hooks in my eyes. That's where
They
the
go in
scar
flat.
came from. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, it's,
they go in flat, you know, pop them out.
doesn't
Probably
hurt.
still,
It's
you know.
uncomfortable, but doesn't hurt.
Yeah. She and she stapled me. I was like freaking out.
She's like, let me
Really?
try it. And I'm
And
like,
she's like,
okay.
no, it's not as bad as you think. Come on.
You just hit the
Let's try."
muscle. Don't like.
Yeah,
Oh, she did it. She did.
there it is.
I know.
Put a
But I have
string
tattoos,
around.
but I don't piercings. People are shocked by that. But
Really?
I know how to staple myself.
Okay.
I'm thinking about
You're halfway
gauging
there.
my ears out.
Yeah.
Like, you know, wait, you have gauges too. You have,
Yeah.
like, well, you are the one.
I'm at 9/16 of an inch.
Okay.
It's a little thicker than a pencil.
Yeah. That is very true.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm thinking about it, but like, I also want to get my nipples pierced, but that kind of, I'm like, let me get actual piercings first.
Do it.
But I have tattoos, which I'm happy about.
How many tattoos do you have?
I have 2 right now,
Okay.
and I have 3 drawn up.
Okay.
And I only tattoo the right side of my
She's
body.
working on it.
Because I'm a
Okay.
Gemini. I'm like, this is my alt side. This is
You
my
got a
normal
plan.
side.
Yeah. Very good.
So,
Very good.
I have Zenobia on my arm. I have a unicorn, all sorts of fun stuff.
Who are your favorite queens?
Oh, queens. Oh God.
RuPaul queens, Dragula queens.
Tammy Brown
Yeah.
for sure. Chanel, Willem, Raja. Yeah, probably my fave. Trixie Mattel gets it.
Yeah.
Trixie's good. Yeah. We like Trixie. I like
Yeah,
Claudia.
Detox. I mean, I used to like Share Needles, but
Mm-hmm.
they kind of went off the bandwagon for
Yeah.
me. And then Dragula. I forget the Dragula girls. There's been a few on there.
Like which ones? Which ones? do you
Hallows
like?
Eve is probably my fave. Like the season 1 girls are my fave.
Yeah.
Because I like it when it doesn't have the theatrics. They don't know what they're going on to.
They
so
don't
it's
have a
really
budget.
raw.
Yeah.
There's,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
It's very bare
That's the
bones.
best. Like now I'm like, ugh, that's a fortune.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
And I also like a lot of Andy Warhol girls, like Candy Darling, like
Yeah.
Hollywood Lawn, like they're my favorite. Divine, like ones that were not on that show is kind of my fave. And then
Sure.
Baltimore, Sorority Heights is probably my fave.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Colton's a
Yeah.
mess.
Yeah, we love Colton. We
Yeah.
love Colton.
She's gonna make it.
Sorority's great.
Totally.
She's hot.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to get her to do, like, she's really good at comedy. And I'm like, let me give you, like, stand-up training. Like, let me teach you how to, like, you're there. I'm like, let me just, like, work magic. I'm like, you're right
Push her right
there.
over the edge there.
Yeah.
You know, let's just get you over there.
She will, though.
We
love
had our
that.
dogs in the studio right before Christmas, right? Theo and
Yes,
Frank
yes.
and
Of course
Fiona.
you did.
And
Yes.
Of course
Fiona.
you did.
Yes, it was the most
Yeah.
delightful session. She had this beautiful gown on with Charlie Brown on it. It was all
Of
sequenced.
course.
What was it? Sequenced? Is that the
Sequenced.
Is that the term from RuPaul's? It's a sequenced gown, and so she was all sequenced out, and it was fierce, absolutely fabulous. I had Charlie Brown in the front, kind of wrapped around with Woodstock and Snoopy on the back, of course. So we had a great time with sorority, and her mom was there.
Oh,
Jackie.
You know, a big
Jackie was there,
supporter.
yeah.
Jackie was there, so it was amazing. It was really great, you know, and that's just part of what we really enjoy doing because also didn't expect to see that come up on our list of things to photograph. Is normally we're doing all the promo photos and
I love
posters
when
and
queens come with an idea. They're like,
Yes.
I really want to try this.
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah,
we're here
let's
to collaborate.
Do it.
Let's do it. Yeah.
I want Colton to get more trashy with it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, go more, like, you already have that restaurant, like, background. Go full head waitress at a diner.
Sure.
Like, I want to see that.
Oh, that'd be
like,
cute. I'd love to
just
see that
like
too.
smoke a cigarette and like beehive your hair up, like
Call everybody sweetheart.
yes, or hun, and
Ash
like
on the
smoke a
pancakes.
cigarette. Yeah.
Pencil in her hair.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. I also really like Dee Dee Dereon.
Yes.
Dee Dee Dereon, every single time I've seen that bitch perform, I've queened out.
Yeah.
God, Venus Fastrada a few times.
Venus is great.
Venus,
Venus
ugh.
does an amazing hairspray number.
Yeah, she's coming. She's only going to
And,
be at Hairspray at Dundalk.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep,
Ooh.
she's casted for that. So
Who's she
that's
playing?
exciting.
Edna.
Of
She
course
doing
she is.
Edna? Okay. I
Of
was
course
like,
she's
she
doing
wouldn't be doing
Edna.
Tracy. She's going to be
No,
doing
she's doing Edna.
Even
Excellent.
better. Even
Excellent.
better.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
And then baby get
Yeah, and baby's got her own business now. She's like literally like running her own business and out of
She's
the salon.
adulting, yeah.
And she's doing great.
They had
the
a
salon's
great first
beautiful.
year.
Great first year. Yeah, I get my hair cut there. You know, it's nice to. It's always hard to find someone you trust. To
Oh
cut
yeah,
your
no, I
hair.
get that. I get that.
There's only been maybe like 4 people in the past 10 years who've been able to touch my hair. Not that it's highly coveted for other people, but it is for me.
See, with me, I'm very particular about the color. I like it ghostly, icy blonde, and people are afraid to go blonde. And I have a lot of red in my hair, so it needs like a higher processing or a higher developer, and they never want to do it. I'm like, just fucking put a 20
I mean, when
developer
you're,
on my
when
hair.
you're already blonde, it's
Yeah.
just taking it that extra level.
Yeah, and I'm like, I want it white.
Love
like,
somebody who's
tone it.
spent way
Yeah.
too much time with volume 40 bleach in their bathroom.
Yep, I've been there, done that.
Super blue.
So, it was like
yeah.
almost lavender. It was so light,
Lavender blonde, so that it's the Gaga song. It's
but
the
not to
Gaga.
the point where you could stretch it out
Yeah,
like elastic.
So what is the theater in Havre de Grace where the girls
The
perform?
State Theater.
State Theater. And how often do they do that?
it's the last Sunday of each month.
Okay, we need
You guys,
to,
yes.
we need to get up
Because
there.
Katie No, who did the Gallery 220 show, she was the one there. It's her and her husband operate it. I do stand up comedy there. I occasionally record my podcast upstairs. I ghost hunt that building every chance I get because that's the most haunted place that has the best ghosts ever. They actually, last time we were there, so there's a ghost in there named Jeremiah. He was featured in the Paranormal Realm show. I found out that he was a gay jazz musician and he loves the fucking drag queens. And I was asking, once he started to open up like that, I was like, okay, what do you think of the drag queens? Shaded Washington, shaded sorority, loved Bambi. Like, I was given the specific names and he was responding through the EVP, like the spirit box. And I was like, what is the chances of this? And I'm like, of course, I'm still his favorite drag queen because he wants to tip me $1.
Naturally.
Because I sent it to Colton and he was like, you're like rigging this. And I'm like, no, like he straight up did it. I'm like, I have 4 people to validate
Here's proof.
that like the ghosts think you're basic.
Pixar didn't happen.
Did you ever bang a ghost?
I came close to it. So I don't know if you guys watch Ethereal Anarchy, my ex-boyfriend Joe. I've had a sex dream after he died. That was like, I woke up and like I had come like in my sleep. And it was a very intense sex dream. So I'm kind of like, it probably happened. So
Yeah.
It felt very real, at least.
yeah. I love ghosts. It's my favorite thing. Anymore, that's ghost hunting's my fave.
Yeah.
As you can tell with the paranormal realm.
How long have you been ghost hunting?
Oh God, my mom is into it, and my stepmom's a psychic. So I kind of grew up around it. And then starting when I was a teenager, I would break into places and like do urban X exploring and stuff like that. And then the more I just fell in love with it, it was probably like 2019 was where I went professional.
Okay.
And then now, like, you know, I have my own team. I'm trying to get on television for it. So
awesome.
It's definitely where Zenobia is like lying and stuff right now.
Sure.
So
very cool.
Where do you find the Urban X places?
Oh, I had ghost friends.
Yeah.
Most of my paranormal people are also photographers, so they got into it urban Xing. Like my favorite is Forest Haven Asylum in Laurel. Super haunted. A lot of the photographs were in the paranormal realm. I actually went there a little bit ago. Urban X. Like I was like, let's just do it. I'll have to edit that out because I don't advocate breaking the law, even though I do. That's probably the best place, but it's super haunted. You go there, you will photograph ghosts on camera, like stuff like that. The spirit box is very active.
Ooh.
But oh yeah, any type of place. I mean, I'm friends with a lot of punk photographers too that like just do that type of stuff. So
people who don't mind getting dirty.
Yeah.
Maybe stepping on something rusty or sharp.
Oh yeah. Well, wear combat boots, I always say.
Get your tetanus shot.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I've had to get several.
Yeah.
God, I had a nail go through my foot one time performing.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah. I had to get a tetanus shot. Hey, made a lot of money though. People tip me well.
Right. Got to pay for that tetanus
Have
shot.
you guys ever done drag?
At one time.
Yep, I did.
At
You
one
did?
time, Richard more so than myself.
Yeah,
but
back in
What was the name?
I was Miss Piss. I performed at the 14 Karat Cabaret.
Oh, what number did you do?
I did a couple. I did Diana Ross's Love Hangover was one of my regular numbers. Crystal Waters. La da dee la da da. That was
Oh yeah, that was a hit.
Oh,
That was a hit.
I did that
Kids
one.
today would say that's a bop.
that's a bop.
Yeah, but you know, it was
What
fun.
about you? I could see you in drag too.
Me, well, you know, I was sort of more of like the party girl back in the day.
I could see you being a like punk, trashy slut.
Oh, very much so. Yeah, absolutely. My color was pink in drag.
Of course it was.
And I went by the name Princess. So Princess Meerkat. And so that was mine. I never did much performing as much as I was kind of just always there, supporting putting on the parties. We did have a small group of, I don't want to call it event planning, but we were very much involved in like the Burning Man community. And so we were known as like the Garden of Heathens. And we would do some really, really awesome, like very rad parties in New York. We did some New Year's parties up there that were Wizard of Oz themed and at the House of Yes in Brooklyn. And we also traveled out to that thing in the desert in Nevada to do that. Oh, I loved it. You know, I mean, it was
well, when I went, it was full of like the basic LA people that I hate.
Gotcha.
And that's when I was like, and there's no culture because y'all came here,
Sure,
drug it from West Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
Yeah, this was like circa 2012 and
that was
11.
that was before.
So those were times, man. Like, I mean, it was great. I mean, it was great community building. I met lots of just really incredible people that you would just never suspect to meet.
Yeah.
I danced with Jack Osborne in the middle of the desert. That was cool.
He's a paranormal investigator.
Is he really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. We love
His whole family
that.
is.
But the
sexy.
just
Yeah.
the experiences that you have. I mean, just riding atop dragon-shaped art cars and shooting flames out of like an octopus, like seeing all of that happen
Out of your where?
around you is just quite a time. You know, I mean, many firsts. You know, just you got to drink your water because it's dry heat and you don't know that you're dehydrated. So. You know, stay vigilant, folks.
And if you're doing other stuff, make sure you drink water because that will dehydrate you too.
Of course, absolutely.
Do you guys go to like local Burning Man type stuff?
We did, yeah, for a long time. We were from like 2011, I would say, up until like 2014. We were very heavily involved in the DC community. We would go to some of the local burns in our region. And then, you know, life took over. You know, we were still interested in supporting the culture future.
Yeah.
But, it's like we're like, well, we can't do everything.
Been there, done that. Because
right.
I kept telling because my best friend Davey is really big into it. And I'm like, you're going to find burner people at these events.
Oh,
like
they're
at Queerscape.
everywhere,
I was
yeah.
like, and sure enough, he's like, oh my God, I haven't seen him since then. I'm like, I told you. I'm like,
they're everywhere. It's just like a subtle nod in the community. I mean, just with some of the places you end up. I mean, I think one of our first, before I even met Richard, I was doing the burns, and then we met sometime in 2011. I think
after.
it was right after the big burn in the desert in August. And then we came back. My birthday's in September, and I met him the day before I turned 20-something.
22.
So I'm 22.
Yes.
And we're not going to say how old I am now, but...
Hi, I'm 25. I say
but,
Zenobia's forever 25. She's been 25 for years.
And we've been together ever since.
Yep.
But it's a huge commitment. It's
It's
a lot of work.
Preparation, radical self-reliance is no joke.
Yeah.
You
And
need
so
to
I
bring
think we
everything
left
you
that-
need.
Hey, it's all guy.
Peas and carrots, peas and carrots.
So I think we refocused our money from there, or all of the little bit of savings that we had, we refocused from Burning Man or local burns to Studio 5 to getting equipment, upgrading equipment.
Taking all of that fun knowledge on all the things and being resourceful.
You always need something, right?
And as a creative, you're never done buying things. If anybody's listening and they thought that you just have to get a camera and a couple lights, nope, sorry, this might not be for you. There will always be some new gadget, some new stand, some new thing with wheels on it that you just must have.
Lenses.
And you always will have technical difficulties, as with podcasting.
Of course, yes, absolutely. That's all part of the fun.
Have you guys ever had like an amazing photo shoot? You get to do the disc and the photos are corrupted?
Yes.
Okay,
It's happened
so
more than once.
Yeah.
Ariana in her fur.
So yes, that was the one tragic time that we had a disc not work. We had a good friend of ours come in for a session, and we had just finished everything, and I was putting them on the computer right there, like while she was standing there, and sorry, this disc cannot be accessed. So heartbreaking. So just as an additional note to everybody, whether you're in the field of photography or if you're entering it for the first time, get backup discs, shoot with 2 cards and have that redundancy set up so that when you shoot on one card, it automatically sends it over to the other.
Yep.
Back
That's
up your
exactly
photos
what
in
I
3
had set up
spots.
today, 'cause I was like-
insurance of your own ability is going to save you a lot of headache.
Yep.
And you don't want to get through all that hard work and then find out that you have to do it again. Luckily, we were able to reshoot what we had during that time. And
the magic,
I think
it's
things
not
worked
the
out.
same magic. Like, it's one of those things where it's
Exactly.
like you can,
Let's try to capture that moment that we had that happened naturally, from 2 hours ago.
And you know what I keep saying? Like, this is what, like, my friend who's he's like, it's probably going to just pop back up in like a year. And I'm like, it's going to be one of those, because I have several episodes of the podcast that like I never released. And like, they kind of live in the mythology. And I'm like,
Sure.
the first episode's living there.
Yeah.
I did talk some shit. Yeah, I did. It got messy.
Absolutely.
As it should be.
Yeah. So, I mean, lesson learned, folks. Back up your stuff.
Backup stuff.
I
Technical
think,
shit happens.
It does happen.
It does happen, but you can do your due diligence if you're buying your cards. Memory cards are not that expensive nowadays.
You get them on
Wait until
Amazon next
Black
day.
Friday is around.
Right. There was this one time that we were at Metro Gallery and we had this beautiful long lens. I don't know what it was, a 70.
It was a 24 to 70.
And we're just looking at each other, having a good time, and we just heard it slam on the ground.
Oh,
Kind of like face down, no lens hood sticking out, nothing.
It's at a baby show, right?
And it was a metrosexual show that we were at, and that's when my heart just kind of like rolled out of my body and down Charles Street,
Right.
And like went down into the Bay drain that's right there, and is probably floating somewhere out in the ocean. And
it's out there with my tapestry of obscenity.
Yeah, and I was just heartbroken. I mean, this is like your lenses are like your babies. Never date your bodies. Marry your lenses. When it
Date
comes
your
to your
bodies, marry your
cameras.
lenses. Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, date your bodies, marry your lenses.
Yeah.
So you can always upgrade, but your lenses should last you your whole career. But, so
I
we've
get that.
since recovered from that traumatizing incident, but there's a lot of things that happen once, and then you find the source of that issue. It turns out I had a faulty clip on my strap, and so always make sure that you're using some pretty reputable stuff there. still enjoy the straps that we have, but you know, I'm more of a spider belt kind of guy, where I can wear my camera on my hip now with a ball bearing that locks it in. So
Hopefully.
there's hopefully, you know, but
Because I've seen you guys do both like studio stuff, and then you guys have been at several events, and I've seen you photograph it. You guys were photographing at the opening of the Art of Drag, and then were you guys photographing at the Paranormal? I was so slammed. Plus, we had the full reality show crew here.
Not shoot that show. We brought some friends here, and a couple of photographer friends, so that you know they could document the evening as well. They were very excited to come to a show over here, so it was great. Yeah, we had a good time.
I loved it. All right, so wrapping up, let's talk about some pop divas.
Pop divas.
Okay, so it wouldn't be talking about drag, especially Baltimore drag, without talking about Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
How many times have you guys seen a Lady Gaga song performed at a drag show?
In the very early days, a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
I remember when she it was Bad Romance Gaga, and everyone was doing that Gaga, and I was like, she has more stuff. Like I want like Dance in the Dark. I want Monster, not Bad Romance or Telephone.
Yeah. Well, and those were very iconic because they also had some collaboration moments going on there with like Beyonce and just having a 20-minute music video. I mean, we haven't seen that in a long time. Yeah. You know, I mean, music videos, period. You know, it's like, true. Let's revive MTV, please, you know, and bring it back, you know. So, but absolutely. I mean, look, we've seen quite a few performances like that, and she's definitely inspired a lot of alt drag as well. Just from the
the alt queens are the ones that do like the hardcore Little Monster songs, like like the B side. Like I can't tell you how many times like it'll be like some scary punk bitch coming out there, and she's doing like Heavy Metal Lover or like Government Hooker.
Government Hooker.
Yes, like the good. Like I'm like fuck yes.
Yeah.
I love
Lady Gaga's good stuff.
And Madonna.
She's so versatile, you know.
When did you guys first fall in love with Madonna? I feel like you're more in love with Madonna.
Madonna's my that was when I was growing up.
What's your favorite Madonna song?
It's a ballad.
Or era.
It's Rain is my favorite song.
Really?
But, I'm a Lucky Star.
Oh, yeah.
I'm erotica all the way. Yeah. Deeper and Deeper, Justify My Love, erotica.
Erotica was very important.
God, it's good to fuck to.
I lost her in the 90s.
Yeah.
And she didn't come back to me until like Confessions.
Yeah. Confession. Oh, that's the best one. How many times have you seen her live?
I've seen her probably 4 or 5 times.
Okay.
Live,
What was your favorite live tour of hers?
It was Blonde Ambition because it was like there was nothing.
I wish
at the time. That wasn't.
That's the best.
Yeah.
Blonde Ambition. Every single pop bitch has been trying to recreate Blonde Ambition since Blonde Ambition. Although her we talked about this all on the last recording, but her Celebrations tour is hands down.
And that's a big regret of mine to not. We almost.
But they were expensive tickets.
No, they were. Well, I pulled connections from someone, and I was like, give me the ticket.
Well, we had bought Stevie Nicks tickets.
Well,
yes.
More important.
My other obsession. I do love me some Stevie Nicks. I've seen her many times.
How many have you guys seen Gaga?
I have not seen Gaga.
No. I've seen her. I've seen Gaga too many times.
I have not seen Gaga. That's on my list of things to do.
Well, I think I counted 13 on the last episode. I actually went back and counted all of them. I've seen Lady Gaga 16 times.
16 times. Okay.
Yep. And I think I've seen her Las Vegas Enigma show probably the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. Yeah. I've never seen her once.
She kills it. Yeah. Bitch kills it.
Yeah.
I
definitely.
love it.
She's talented.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Final thoughts.
All right.
We have to talk about John Waters.
Ooh, love John Waters.
What is the best John Waters movie? I already know what you're going to say. I knew when you said it the last episode. I was
Female
like,
Trouble.
Yeah,
Female Trouble's the best. Yeah. What is it about that movie that makes you like queen out?
I love the Dashers. They're just such great characters. Like especially when they're going over to Divine's for dinner, and she's like, "We're having spaghetti." Yeah. Spaghetti. What do I look Italian?
Because that's a very
chicken breast,
specific Baltimore accent, the Italian. My grandmother would say that.
These rats are going to start biting my nylons. Like I just die every time I hear that. The Lipstick Beauty Salon, when they want to take the hairdo back, she doesn't want to pay, guys.
Get the fuck
take
out.
That hair back.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Mrs. Dasher.
Mrs. Dasher.
It's the best. That's Sue Lowe.
Yes.
That's Sue Lowe. And for Christmas, Nick bought me. when Nick and I first met, we purchased one of Sulo's drawings, one of her Nut House drawings.
Really?
And it was one of my most prized possessions. And then the bride. Sue knows that we talked about
She
it.
knows the exact one.
But we had some folks move in with us, and when they left, it wasn't on good terms, and they took my drawing.
It got stolen.
I would sue.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to, but we don't know where they're running
it's
off
okay.
yet.
Sue's going to kill her. We already talked about
Yes.
it.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect.
For Christmas, Nick
She's coming for revenge.
Nick took me to her opening, and we bought a painting. So
Even better.
finally, I've
Tommy
got
Tucker?
Tommy the thumb sucker.
The thumb sucker.
Yeah.
Sucked his thumb so much that he got buck teeth.
Yeah.
God, that's
We're
oh.
a big Sulo fan.
I
we
love
us
it.
some so.
I love it.
But I mean, there's just everything about that movie from the campy violence, the drag, you know, seeing Ann
And
Ida.
it
you know,
holds
I mean,
up,
it's-
and it's so modern because I look at it, I'm like, I could see this on Instagram. I could see, and I think this is actually happening in our society, sadly.
Yeah.
With Instagram and all social media.
And we got to try and laugh about it because, you know, as much as we try to do, there's just some things that are above our control.
But you can't do that anymore. You
can't.
can't make films like full-length feature films like that anymore. At the price that he...
Like, I was just watching Showgirls this weekend because I watched the last Showgirl and I was like, and it was good, but I was like, I need to watch like the original, like the best Showgirl movie. So I watched, and I'm like, that movie is so good, it will never be made today. That is the best movie.
It is a classic. Yeah, absolutely.
God. And I'm quoting every fucking line of it. God. All right. So where can we find you? Where can we book photography stuff?
Absolutely.
I'll post your website below in the episode description.
Definitely. So if anybody's interested in collaborating on some great artwork and awesome photo opportunities, you can follow us on Instagram at symbol Studio 5 Baltimore. And you can also find us on our website, which is www.studio5 Baltimore.com. Don't spell out numerical, just type the number 5 on your keyboard and you'll have great success. Studio5 Baltimore.com.
And reach out. We'd love to work together.
Yes, we're all for collaborations. We've got some really fun and exciting projects coming up in 2025. So
You got to know Be Darling coming in?
Excellent. We absolutely do.
Yep.
Yes. We need to get you on the books.
A lot of fun stuff planned.
But we have a lot of fun stuff planned. So come by and see us. We are central down in Station North in the heart of the Arts District. So plenty of venues around and abound. So if you need to stop by before our show, then reach out and let's get it scheduled.
Yeah. Excellent. This has been I'm so thankful you guys came in to re-record this episode. It'll be out this Thursday. So
Perfect.
All right. I'm
Thank you
Beam
for
Out to the
having
UFO. Peace out, guys.
Bye.